I am quickly becoming a fan of the 1% revolution. Let's talk about some MySlab sales. Good afternoon, everyone, and today I wanted to get into some MySlab sales, the 1% revolution. If you have not heard about MySlabs, you can actually sell your cards for 1% selling fee as opposed to eBay, which typically has 12 to 13% selling fees. If you use PWCC's auction site, it varies on the price of the card, but typically you're going to pay about 15% of a seller's fee on that. And even a company like Alt, they do offer a little bit better seller's fees, but it's still, I believe, 7 to 8%. So when you look at MySlabs and the 1% fee, that is just unbelievable. My concern when I first saw MySlabs was, well, is anybody even going to be on the platform and see my cards? Is it just going to be another one of those? I did see some other sites that had lower fees, but there were no users on them, so nobody was going to see that my card was for sale, and I wasn't even going to be able to move it anyway. So I had the same concern with MySlabs when I first heard about it earlier this year. However, I finally decided to put some cards on, and initially when I put some cards on, I was getting offers right away, so I was a little bit surprised by that. We'll get into those specific sales. The first card that I put on there was a Mike Trout 2020 Topps Chrome Refractor, PSA 10. Just a base, nothing too exciting. It was a 2020 card, so it wasn't valued very high. I think I paid $50 for it at a card show, and I just wanted to put it on MySlabs to see if I could sell it, to see what kind of offers would I get on it. I wasn't even really necessarily looking to make a profit on it. I kind of just wanted to move off the card and get the cash and move into some other things. So that was my initial thought process for even getting on MySlabs, is just to see, can I move some cards that maybe I'm break even on, or maybe even a little bit underwater, but I want to recoup some of the costs, and I don't really necessarily want to pay those higher eBay fees. If I can move some of the cards, and maybe even some cards that are a little bit more popular, where I feel like more collectors are willing to look at different sites to look for the hot players at the time, maybe Shohei Ohtani during baseball season, or maybe Justin Herbert right now. And so that was my thought for getting on MySlabs and trying it out. So I want to get into the sales into a minute here, but before that, I did want to talk a little bit about Justin Herbert, because one of the things that I've noticed is that there are some players playing really well right now. I would say Kyler Murray, the Cardinals are 5-0. Josh Allen, the Bills just came off a big win against the Chiefs. And you look at all these players in the NFL that are playing well. Devontae Adams had a career day yesterday, and one of the things you notice is there's very little to no price movement in their cards. And so I was just wondering about that myself, because I felt like, well, this time around the during this NFL season, as opposed to last NFL season, the market has actually been down all summer long. So maybe we might see an uptick in some of the superstars, some of the people that are actually playing well, but that doesn't seem to be the case, except for Justin Herbert. We're seeing a spike in his prices like we haven't seen in a while. A little bit reminds me of the Shohei Ohtani spike that we saw during baseball season. I just checked eBay right now, and I saw a sale on his Prism Base 10 for over $700. Those of you that know that card know that it's been going for about $500 as recently as a couple of days ago. And also I saw his Donruss base PSA 10 is now going for about, it looks like roughly $250 on eBay. Now, one of the things I did want to bring your attention to, and I know many of you are aware of shill bidding, and especially with the PWCC announcement when they separated from eBay, but this is the time to pay attention to shill bidding. I noticed the sale of a Donruss base PSA 10 on eBay for $510. And I've been on the market, or I've been looking at cards long enough to see an outlier to spot it right away. And I could tell that, this card is not going for $500 overnight. Let me check MySlabs. There was a one on sale for, I think, $210 and $235. Let me check buy it now. So the first thing you should do when you see an unusually high auction end for especially a card like a base Donruss PSA 10, check the buy it nows. And if you find buy it nows for significantly lower prices, then obviously you know that there's some funny stuff going on, and just try to get a gauge on the market. Many times these shield bids happen so that potential buyers think, oh, well, I saw an auction go off for $500 and I see a buy it now for $285. That's a steal. I'm going to buy it right now. And that's the hope of these people who do shield bids. So that's kind of the game that goes on there. And like I said, I've seen it before with other cards. We've seen it with Mike Trout's Topps Update rookie. Northeast Ohio Neil pointed out John Morant. This happened when his card spiked at the beginning of the NBA season. So I had a feeling something like this would happen. And sure enough, I'm fairly certain that that sale was not a real sale for $500. And again, that was on a Justin Herbert Donruss PSA 10. So there's that as far as Justin Herbert. However, I believe his card is hot right now. So I think we will see an uptick in prices in his cards across the board, unlike some of the other stars in the NFL. Not sure why that is. It could be that the expectations were a little bit lower for Herbert. Many of the other YouTube content creators were kind of not sure about Justin Herbert. They thought his prices were already too high, and so there might be a pullback, and they just weren't expecting big things out of him this year. And so far, we're seeing what are the makings of an MVP type season, and I think that's where everyone's jumping on the hype train, and we might continue to see a spike in his prices. So you might want to either sell if you feel it's hype right now, or maybe if you feel there's more room for growth, go ahead and buy in. It's really one of those points in time where you kind of just have to go with your own gut and determine, how do you feel about Justin Herbert. For me personally, I've always thought he was a great quarterback since last year and day one. So I might look for some deals at the prices they are now and see if I could pick a couple up, but I'm definitely not selling too many. You know, if there's profit to be made, I will, but for the most part, I'm looking to hold and just kind of see where it goes. I believe that the Chargers will have a good season this year. So let's get on to those MySlab sales. So I've sold 10 cards in the last month or two. I just recently put cards on again, starting with that Mike Trout. Sold the Mike Trout Topps 2020 for $52. Not a lot of money, and I paid $50 at a card show. But it was nice. It was nice that I had it listed for $60. I was just looking to move the card. I think I got an offer for $40, and we negotiated and it ended up at $52, which was very nice. And again, with the 1% fee, I clear close to $50. Now, keep in mind, there's a 1% MySlab fee, and then in order to get your money from PayPal Goods and Services, which all transactions have to go through PayPal Goods and Services, it's 2.9%. So essentially, you're paying about 4% total. So just keep that in mind. Even with that, it was still better than I would have done on eBay, and I may not have even been able to move off that card at that price. The next sale I had, and this was my big one, was a Kevin Durant Topps Chrome PSA 9. Sold that for $1,275, and I paid $1,050 at a card show. So it cleared $1,217. It was actually $1,217.26. That was the amount of money that I received that was transferred to my bank account after MySlabs, after PayPal. So I made a nice little profit, $167. Nothing too exciting, but I bought the card in June. I sold it in September. So in a short window, I made a decent profit, and I was just happy to take that. And I actually the reason I sold it, I may have been happy to hold on to Kevin Durant going into the basketball season. I think he'll have a good year, but I was going to go to a card show and I wanted some extra cash. And so I thought that this would be a good way to get some extra cash, and I'm going to make a profit on it. So go ahead and sell it. Also, let's see how this MySlabs platform works. And I think it worked pretty well in this case. My next sale was a Trae Young PSA 9 Silver Prism. I bought this card right before the playoffs on StarStock for $385. I sold it on MySlabs for $385. And the reason I moved off this card is because I was hoping when I bought it at the time that I thought the Hawks would do well in the playoffs, and they did, yet the card really didn't move at all. Now I was stuck holding this card all off season, and there were rumors that people are talking about buying Trae Young and that the card might go up in value. So I thought, well, I'll hang on to it. leading up to the NBA season. I noticed that the most recent sale on eBay of this card, it was $361. So it sold on eBay for less than I paid for it on StarStock. I just don't see a lot of movement on the card, and I'm not a huge Trae Young believer. I think he had a great year last year. I think he'll have a good year this year as well. Will they get to the Eastern Conference Finals again? I don't know. I mean, they could, but I'm not a believer in the Hawks that they're definitely going to get there and they're going to be able to get past New Jersey or Milwaukee or even Philadelphia for that matter. If it comes down to it again, if they have to go through any of those teams to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm not a big believer that they're going to for sure be able to knock off any one of those teams and get, make a deep run in the playoffs. And I was able to sell the card for $385 on MySlabs, which is what I paid for it. Basically, I was happy to move off of it, break even minus the fees. So that is what it is. And again, I wanted the cash also as well because I was heading to a card show. Sold a Terry McLaurin base prism PSA 10 for $75. Paid $75 for that on eBay. So you might be asking, why am I selling all these cards at break even? Well, these are cards that I bought that I was hoping something would happen. They hadn't happened yet, and I'm just happy to move off them at this point. Get the cash and try to either look for deals at a card show or look for, there have been some good buys on StarStock, which I'll get into in another video, or just go back and find other deals on eBay. So sometimes I just realize I've been holding the card for a while. I don't really see a whole lot of movement based on the season, based on the player, based on the market, whatever reason. So sold the Terry McLaurin, break even. Same thing with Alex Verdugo. Now, Alex Verdugo is an interesting one. This is just a Topps Chrome PSA 10, which I knew was unfortunately a bad buy. He started out hot and then he cooled off dramatically, and I just kind of had a few of his PSA 10s sitting around and not sure what I was going to do with them because it just didn't seem like he really had a good end to a season. Then he got hot in the playoffs. So I looked on eBay and there were buy it nows for this card for $35. I posted it on MySlabs for $35 and it sold probably within minutes. I don't know if I should have posted it for more. I didn't think it would sell for more than it would on eBay, but anyway, again, I was happy to sell it for the current eBay buy it now price. Unfortunately for me, I paid $50 for it on StarStock, so I did lose a little bit, but I was happy to recoup some of that money while he had a brief hot streak in the playoffs. JD Martinez, same thing. Bought a couple of JD Martinez cards at the beginning of the year. I paid $70 each for for a PSA 10 of his Topps update. Luckily, I was fortunate enough to sell another one when he got hot. The card actually went up to, I want to say, somewhere over $100. I think I sold it for $120 on eBay. So I made profit on one of them, but I was stuck with another one, which really just wasn't moving. JD Martinez, he had a really nice year, but nothing to write home about. He really didn't hit a hot streak again after that initial hot streak he had in April. And again, he's had a nice playoffs. So I was able to post that on MySlabs for $60. I noticed there was a $60 buy it now on eBay. I just posted it on MySlabs for $60 and it sold right away. So again, there I was able to recoup most of my cost on that. And then a couple of other sales. I sold a Zach LaVine. Now, I actually sold this Zach LaVine courtside PSA 10 back in August. So on August 31st, I sold it for $400. I paid $225. Basically, what happened with this one was I paid around $160 for the card raw, and then I got it graded for $65. It came back a PSA 10. I was able to sell it on MySlabs for $400. And after fees, I cleared $381.55. So that was a nice $142 profit on that Zach LaVine. That was a nice sale. And I still have another one up on MySlabs. I don't want to sell it that cheap. I think that there's a lot of hype for him going into the season. So I want to see if I can get a little bit more for the other PSA 10 I have of his. It's also a courtside. And then I also did well on the Walker Buehler. I had a few of these Topps Chrome PSA 10s and I probably should have sold them all. But I just wanted to sell a couple. I actually did an experiment. I wanted to see how much one would sell for on eBay versus how much one would sell for on MySlabs. So I posted one for $100 on MySlabs, and eventually I negotiated to a $90 price point. So I sold it for $90 on MySlabs, and I paid $40 at the beginning of the baseball season. So I made a nice little profit there, a little bit less than $50 after the fees. That was a nice sale as well. And most recently, I sold a Jason Tatum Select Concourse PSA 10. Unfortunately, I lost on this one. I paid $400 for this card during the peak of last NBA season. I bought it on a Facebook group, and I actually thought I got a good deal. And when you buy through Facebook, you don't have to pay sales tax. It seems like you have better room to negotiate, and so I was happy with the price I got. But unfortunately, that card went down in value, and it just doesn't seem to be moving. I think it's actually up to $250, a little over $250 now on eBay. I decided to go ahead and sell it for $210 on MySlabs. That's the highest offer that I got. I had many offers for it over the last couple of weeks, and I just decided to settle it on that price. Go ahead and cut my losses on that card. I'm just not a big fan of the card itself. I do have a Jason Tatum Select Premier PSA 10, so I'm kind of hanging on to that one. I don't like the price point it's at right now. It's a little bit low. And I wanted the cash because we're going to a card show this Saturday. So again, I've been hanging on to that card since probably February, when I realized that when I bought in February, that's the peak of the market. And so if I have to take a loss on some cards, that's so be it. If I can get the cash now and go ahead and try to move into some other things, I'll do that. But the thing I like about MySlabs is it allows me to do that at only a 1% transaction fee. And I can pretty much get eBay comps on these cards as well. It's a great platform. If you haven't tried it, if you haven't used it, the other thing is it's very easy to upload cards. You can just take pictures with your phone and you can upload directly onto the site from your phone. That's how I've been doing it lately. Or you can just download them into your laptop and go ahead and upload them that way. But there aren't a lot of steps that you have to take that you would with eBay to go ahead and get your card listed. They only take slabs. They even give you a little template on how to list it. And I think the platform is great. And I just want to add too that I'm not sponsored by MySlabs. I have no affiliation with them whatsoever. This is purely organic as far as me trying to figure out the best places to sell my cards. And I did want to do a video on where do you sell your cards when you're looking to actually take some profits. This is obviously one of the platforms, so I wanted to get a MySlabs video out. Thanks again for watching. Thanks again for subscribing. I've had a couple of new subscribers. I'm getting very close to 100 subscribers, so I'm actually excited about that. I mean, when I started this channel, I did not think about the possibilities. Am I going to have 10 subscribers, 50 subscribers? I really didn't think about where it's going to go. So I'm actually very excited for every new subscriber that I have, and I'm even more excited about the feedback that I get from people that actually watch the channel and provide some great comments, and I can respond to those, and I can get more ideas on videos that I could create going forward, and really just try to share my experience with what I'm doing in the hobby as far as collecting, as far as investing, all those different things, and particularly grading and where do I buy and sell my cards. So I like to share all that stuff. Thanks again for watching. I hope everyone has a great day, and I will see you on the next one.